Welcome back to Cityline. With me, we could call him the man about town because he's everywhere and has his fingers in everything that happens on the roads, with the exception of the potholes. That's not any of his purview. He's got his enough on his plate. When I tell you who he is, you'll agree. We're talking about Scott Thompson. Hello, Mr. Scott Thompson. You are the Public Information Officer for our beloved Sound Transit. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Amanda. Good to talk to you again.
It's good to see that sweet face. So let's talk about, boy, first off, we made it through the snow. We made it through the rain. We made it through the black ice, and we're still asking that question. What is the status of the Hilltop Link project?
Well, we are moving along. I have to say we had a little bit of a shutdown with the weather we had over the holidays. We didn't get a lot of work done as we had hoped with the snow and everything else going on. There wasn't a lot that our contractors could do on that. So, but they're back working now as the weather has turned. But we are, 90% complete with this project at the moment. So
congratulations.
Yes, I think, the few big things we have to do. I mean, we're in the process of putting in all the station platforms and the station canopies right now. The other big project we're going to have to do is actually tying in the existing line to the new line. And that's going to require some major work, likely this summer around July, August timeframe is what I'm hearing now. It's also going to require a shutdown of the whole link or T-line system for about 30 days or more. We will again put a shuttle bus system in place to do that. But we have to do that because we're not going to be able to run trains at all as we work with the existing line and the new line and tie them together. So it's just not going to be feasible to do that. But we're still looking for a fall of this year opening.
All right, we'll take that. So the extension, as you mentioned, will continue. I believe it's from Old City Hall, love that building, up Division, down MLK, and it will end around the St. Joseph Hospital in there.
Right. Yeah, it's about 2.5 miles of an extension. You're right. It connects there at the we're moving the Theater District station down a little bit. We're going to connect there right at McMinimans, around the Spanish Steps there at 9th and Commerce. It will go up past Stadium High School through the Stadium District. Then you're right, up to Division, and then down MLK, right at Tacoma. You go past Tacoma General, Mary Bridge, continue on through the Hilltop, and it will end down at St. Joseph Medical Center.
That is impressive. And my brain is full of all kinds of analogies about making those connections, because certainly your team knows that one project begets another. And having to move those existing stations to get that connecting happening, it requires a lot of patience and a lot of foresight, doesn't it, Scott?
It does, yeah. And, there's a lot of work. We have to move all the underground utilities that are in the roadways, and you'd be surprised at the amount of stuff that's under your roads in the city. So we have to move those away and from under our tracks and things like that. So that's been a major challenge because they haven't always been where we thought they were going to be. So you have to sometimes do a little more digging, a little more research to find out where those utilities are to move them. But I think if you have driven around downtown Tacoma in the last month or two, there's a lot of development going on around downtown in proximity to our new Tacoma Link extension. So I think that speaks to what folks in the city see as growth and development, and what this new mode of transportation is going to add to people's mobility in downtown Tacoma. So we're excited to get it. I mean, future for the line. I mean, we have plans in the distant future to then move that connect on at the end at MLK there and 19th, and then eventually try to get our line all the way out to Tacoma Community College. But that's several years in the future down the road. But that's the ultimate plan for the T line.
I have to confess, whenever I'm in that area of Tacoma Community College and I see the links that are already down there, I try to imagine myself riding one of those into TV Tacoma Studios, which is, right there on MLK. So how often will that pass by? Because I know that we will have guests that will want to take that.
Yeah. So we're adding five new rail cars. The first of those rail cars should arrive in February of this year. I believe we're going, our normal travel intervals are, during business hours are around 10 to 12 minutes for trips. And I think we'll be able to maintain that. I think hopefully we'll get down to more on the 10-minute side than the 12-minute side. But I think that's what we're looking for. The other thing I think people should be aware of that once we are going to be charging fares for the first time on the T line when the extension opens later this year. I don't know what those fares are going to be yet. Our board hasn't decided on what that fare structure looks like, but people should expect that fares will be charged. We've had a great relationship with the Downtown Business Alliance that has helped support our Tacoma Link line there, and we haven't had to charge fares, but that'll change once the extension opens. And we'll have ticket vending machines, Orca readers. You'll be able to use your Orca card on the T line and all that sort of stuff as well. So that infrastructure has to go in as well too. And then we have to also do a little testing of the new trains. Once they come in, we have to test them and commission them and make sure that they all work properly on the system. So that'll be another part of the project.
It's not just about moving dirt, is it, Mr. Scott? No, it's not. So up here on the hilltop, we're seeing a lot of new construction around the link route. Is this something that you're seeing elsewhere also?
I think we are. If you look around, the Rainier Valley in Seattle, we have a lot of what we call transit-oriented development projects, and we have, once we finish a project, we typically have surplus land that we no longer need, but that we've used for storage of construction equipment, or we've needed extra space, and now we have these plots of land. We're seeing a lot of development around our stations in the Capitol Hill area. We just opened Northgate. There's developments going in around those new stations at Roosevelt and others. We've got a couple of pieces of property around our Angle Lake station that we're anticipating having development on. So we transferred a number of parcels over to the city of Seattle for housing as well too. So we're looking at, I would think you're going to see a lot of development as we expand east, north, and south to Federal Way. We will have more transit-oriented development opportunities as those lines become active.
Scott, when we think about activity on those lines, what is the projected daily ridership?
I want to say for the extension of the T line, I'm going to say it's another additional maybe 2,000 to 4,000.
Okay.
We hope that those may change. That may be a pre-COVID number. They may change a little bit, after COVID, but we anticipate it will get a lot more use. And we've seen a great uptick on our when we opened Northgate. A good number of riders are now taking that from Northgate into Seattle, and buses are now truncating at those stations to get people on Link Light Rail. So we do see increased ridership once these lines open. Whether they'll be the numbers that they might have been in, say, 2019 if we hadn't had COVID and the pandemic, I think we'll have to wait and see. But we believe we'll have, there'll be a benefit and increased ridership on all the things we're opening over the next few years.
So Scott, that increased ridership, will you need to add additional light rail vehicles?
Well, as I said, we've got 5 new rail cars coming in for the Tacoma Link, and we are bringing in, on an ongoing basis, more Link Light rail cars for the Central Line as well too, as we get ready to open. East Link's going to open in a year, all the way out to Redmond and Bellevue. So, and then in 2 years, we're going to go up to Linwood and down to Federal Way. So we have hundreds of cars that are on the way to make all this possible.
So let's think ahead here for a second, and I'm sure that there will be a formal ceremony to celebrate the
Right.
completion of this project. Dream with me for a second and tell me what it will look like.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know, and I don't want to say too much early on because I don't want to get people's hopes up or expectations up. But we will do some sort of opening ceremony, and you know, we had a big ceremony up at when we opened Northgate. We had a garage facility there that we did a big opening ceremony right at the Northgate station on the top of the garage, and we had a I think a junior high marching band come through, and we marched down to open it, and everybody got to ride free train. So I don't know if it'll be anything to that scale, but we are talking about, we will have something to invite the public to, and you know, local officials, and have everybody celebrate the opening of this new line.
So we've been showing the website below your fabulous face this whole time. And is that where people should go to get the best cross section of information about Sound Transit?
Yes, and I would say so. We've got a list that says system expansion. You can look at all our expansion projects there. If you want to sign up for project alerts for the Hilltop Tacoma Lake extension, there's a project page that you can do that as well and get email alerts about the construction and the impacts and what's going on. So yeah, I think the website's probably the best way to keep up to date on what's happening with all our projects.
So last question for you, and get out the crystal ball. I see you have one right in front of you.
Okay.
What are the future Sound Transit projects in Pierce County that you just want to leave us a snippet about?
Well, I think the biggest one for me is the Tacoma Dome Lake extension, getting light rail down to the Tacoma Dome. Once we get to Federal Way in 2024, that'll be the next big extension to the south, will be from Federal Way all the way down to Tacoma Dome. We'll have stations in South Federal Way, and then one in Fife, and then two in Tacoma, one around Portland Avenue and one at the Tacoma Dome. So that's going to be nearly, I want to say it's close to 10 miles of new light rail line that you'll be able to get down to Seattle to Tacoma via light rail and get off the highway. So we will later this year come out with our draft environmental impact statement on that project, as we'll, you know, have some more details on the various routes and station locations. So people should look for that latter half of 2022, and then we'll do some analysis, and the board will pick some preferred, you know, alternatives to do final study for an EIS. But that's I think the next big thing on the horizon for Pierce County.
Wonderful. And Scott, as long as you are project managing all of this, we are in good hands. Thank you so much, Mr. Public Information Officer, for always having the answers that we need. We may not like them, but your transparency is incredible. So Scott, thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you in a couple of months, mister.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Appreciate your time.
You bet. Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It is always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about in this past hour. So please, before you go out there and become a part of the tapestry, get yourself vaccinated, get yourself boosted, put that mask on. And when you do all that and enjoy our beautiful city, come on back. We'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma, that's my home, from the fires to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle, oh, you're from LA, oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle, oh, you're from LA, oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah.